morning. Happy New Year. And welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Toledo on this Sunday, January 11th, 2026. I'm Stacia Hanson, today's service associate, and with me is our senior minister, Reverend Tim Barker, our director of lifelong learning, Judy Gottman, who will lead the children's program this morning, and our music director, last but not least, Jeffrey Maxey, who will perform on the piano and lead our First Unitarian choir. In the back, in our audio-visual booth, is our director-producer, Walter McGee, and we have Andy Gottman on the soundboard and Jeff Slauson on cameras, or maybe it's vice versa. I'm not completely sure what's going on back there. And we have many other volunteers making this morning possible, volunteers in the RE wing, greeters in the lobby, and a lot of people in the kitchen preparing for coffee hour, led by our kitchen crew, Carla Logan Mercer. Speaking of coffee hour, we hope you will be there today to see the new paint and chair rail that were installed this week by Rich Miller with help from Cindy Gilmore and Sue Childers. Woo! They spent 5 days working on Fellowship Hall, so please thank each and every one of them for this magnificent effort and tremendous improvement to our main gathering place. The only doctrine of our church is love, the power that holds us together. It is at the center of our shared values. We welcome everyone as we sang in our opening song. If you are a visitor, you may notice in the pew rack in front of you a yellow card. If you fill that out, it helps us to know that new seekers are here. And it will also help us send you our UUFYI email so you know what's going on at church. We also welcome everyone who is joining us on our Toledo Unitarians YouTube channel. We hope this time serves your spirit. We are so glad you are here.
Hi, I'm Reverend Tim, and let me add to Stasia's welcome. The flame of the chalice that we light in our gatherings symbolizes courage and illumination and honors our search for truth and meaning. Let's all say the words for the chalice lighting together. They're on the screen and in our order of service as Stasia lights the flame. Our chalice has the spirit of Unitarian Universalism. We light it centered in love. May it glow with sacredness and shine for each and for all. And let's continue reciting together with Stasia leading us in the covenant of our congregation. This is not a creed, but what we share with general agreement.
Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Now, please join in for some congregational singing. Hymn 95 in the gray hymnal, There is More Love Somewhere. For you who are willing and able, please stand.
Sorry. There is more somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more hope somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more hope somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more joy somewhere.
Good morning. Young children, if you would like to come forward to hear the story, please join me. Crawl as fast as you can. Well done, thank you. Hi there. Oh my goodness, more and more. Okay, so children, today we are going to talk about reparations, which is such an incredibly long word that I'm just going to call them repairs. So say, for example, that say that I broke your mom's phone. What do you think I should do if I break your mom's phone? How can I make that up to her? Buy a new phone for her? Say sorry and give her the money to buy a new phone or to get her phone fixed? Bring the phone to a blacksmith. That is an option I had not considered, but I will now keep that in my back pocket. So you probably already know that a long time ago in the U.S., So Towns has told us that if a blacksmith breaks his mom's phone, he might break the blacksmith's phone. So that is a thing that we can talk about in class. How's that sound? Okay, so you probably know that a long time ago in the United States, slavery was legal. And a lot of people, most of them of African heritage, were bought and sold and forced to work very hard all their lives. They grew crops to sell, they made fabric and clothing, they built buildings, they were blacksmiths, they did all kinds of things. And the white slave owners made money from all of the things that those enslaved people did. And some of them made a lot of money. Okay. Then, of course, we fought a war and a lot of other things happened, and the law that allowed slavery was changed. And a new law was written that said any person who had been held in slavery was free. And when that happened, all of the white slave owners said, hey, that's not fair. You can't do that. You can't just take away those slaves. Those are my property. And our government said, you're right, that is so unfair to you. Oh my goodness. And those white slave holders received money today that is worth around $8,000 to $10,000 for each person that they had kept enslaved. Those payments were reparations or repairs to fix that situation that was so unfair. So what about the people who had been set free from slavery? Was there anything about their situation that was unfair? Yes, their situation was horribly unfair. They were discriminated against. They had worked all their lives with no money, and they had no place to go after they were set free. All of that is not fair. So what kind of reparations do you think they got for that unfair situation? Well, the answer is none. They got no reparations, no money, nothing at all. So here we are 160 years later. Those white families who got that repair money back then were better able to pass money down and down to their kids and their kids' kids. And the black people who were set free from slavery had a lot less money to pass down to their kids. That unfairness has never been repaired. And you might think it's been 160 years. Does it really make a difference at this point? Yes, it does, because money loves to travel through families. Lots of people are now saying that it is finally time to give that repair money to people whose ancestors were held in slavery. Maybe by giving actual money, maybe some other way that has value. And as you can imagine, doing that would be complicated. It would take a long time, and it would not be easy. But we are Unitarian Universalists. We believe in doing what is fair, not just in doing what's easy. We side with love. We work for justice and equity. We don't say that's too hard. We say, I can do hard things. And we covenant to help others. And this is the right thing to do. And we are not going to give up. Because unfairness does not fix itself. People have to fix it. We are those people. And fixing unfairness is the work that we do. Thank you.
In this first of 3 intentional times of spiritual practice in our Sunday services, we look beyond ourselves, considering celebrations and sorrows and the state of things. Join me for a time of having our spirit open to what is beyond ourselves. Renee Nicole Good. This woman being shot and killed on January 7th, only 5 days ago, by an immigration and customs enforcement agent in Minneapolis, has brought the nation's attention to the bad actions of the current presidential administration's overreach on immigration in a way that some people, including public officials in Minnesota, have been warning us of, saying that ICE's actions could result in death. And that's what happened. As I see it, based on the videos from the scene, there was unnecessary escalation by ICE. Amen. And that resulted in unlawful killing. I don't have legal definitions and distinctions of types of murder, but murder is what it seems to me. This has raised national attention. There was a protest at one government center, and Toledo Unitarians were there, including our congregation's president, Krista Snyder, who was quoted in media saying, "I believe in the rule of law, and I feel like that under the current administration, we're not seeing that happen here." There will be another protest demonstration today, part of a national effort. Our friends from Toledo Persists are asking people to be at the corner of Secor and Central from 1 to 2 p.m. today to demonstrate for getting ICE out for good. I know that our church will be represented there. I don't have words of comfort about this. I worry, and I hope that this incident will inspire change for the better in the ways our federal government treats all people. In these pastoral words for spiritual practice, please hear that though there is outrage today, there is also a call for kindness, compassion, and personal peace. There are people in our circles who, with their family and friends, have challenges of life and death. I have the sad news to report that Gwen Wilson, long a leader in our church's social justice work and a former member of our board of trustees, died last Sunday. When plans for a memorial service are confirmed, we will let you know details. People in our circles also have challenges of health and illness, and a few people who have been away from us because of that are here today, and we're glad to see our friends here. We have times of being at home and traveling, knowing financial security and anxiety-laden monetary stress. Decisions are being made by ourselves and by others on how we could live our best lives, which sometimes means aspiring to that, not having an easy way to get from here to there, and realizing we have moves yet to make to reach aims and goals. And individual and family ways go on with new lives born and many other joys and celebrations. We all have bad days and good. May kindness and gentleness be with us. May we be compassionate to all, as we don't know what other people are going through. So treat one another well. And may we be glad for their celebrations and ours. Let's continue to have First Unitarian be a place of welcome, of grace, even of refuge from hard times. And that in this liberal religious community, we can help one another, care for ourselves, and have our part in changing the world. Let's look for and take part in the good wherever we can find it. Please share mercy and dignity, and remember to breathe. That spiritual action can be, that natural action can be spiritual. One reason we join in religious gatherings is to realize common links. We know that the uncommon is here too. Let's be together in faith, hope, and love. Amen.
Why are we looking down on our sisters and brothers? Isn't love all that we got? So we know everyone's got a father and mother. The day we know we're all the same, together we can make a change. Look around, there are too many of us crying, and not enough love to go round. What a waste, another day, another good one dying. But I know that the world will change the day we know we're all the same. Why can't we just get along? If loving one another's wrong, then how are we supposed to get close to each other? We've gotta make that change, yeah. What a waste it would be to deny somebody of the chance to be themselves. What a waste it would be if we hurt for nothing. But I know that the world can change the day we know we're all the same. Why can't we just get along? Loving one another's wrong, then how are we supposed to get close to each other? We've gotta make that change, yes. I know we could break apart. We don't have to go that way. Not today. Why can't we just get along? If loving one another's wrong, then how are we supposed to get close to each other? Oh, yes. Why can't we just get along? Loving one another's wrong, then how are we supposed to get close to each other? We gotta make that change, yes. The change, yeah.
Thank you, Jeffrey. For our in-community spiritual practice of meditation, contemplation, and prayer, let's turn inward. I bring words adapted from an English nonconformist clergy member and abolitionist, John Angel James, from the year 1848. We'll follow the reading with 1 minute of silence, only hearing the sounds around us, and then we'll sing together number 1, 2, 3, Spirit of Life. I am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do the something that I can do. 1 minute of silence.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all stirrings of compassion. Move in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the
This reading is called Deflection and Distortion by Clint Smith. I think about all of the times growing up when I sat in class and heard a white classmate say, well, my ancestors didn't own slaves. Or heard a political commentator on television say, why are we talking about slavery? People need to get over it. Or a politician say, we can't wallow in the past, it's time to focus on the future. When I hear these deflections, I think of all the ways this country attempts to smother conversations about how its past has shaped its present. How slavery is made to sound as if it happened in a prehistoric age, instead of only a few generations ago. In his 1935 book, Black Reconstruction in America, W.E.B. Du Bois wrote that the story the country tells about its relationship to chattel slavery is willfully distorted. Quote, our histories tend to discuss American slavery so impartially that in the end, nobody seems to have done wrong and everybody was right. Slavery appears to have been thrust upon unwilling, helpless America while the South was blameless in becoming its center. One is astonished in the study of history at the recurrence of the idea that evil must be forgotten, distorted, or skimmed over, end quotation.
How many of you know that slavery is still legal in the United States of America? No, it didn't end with the Emancipation Proclamation, that January 1st, 1863 executive order from President Abraham Lincoln declared that enslaved people in only Confederate states were declared to be free. You might think that the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, passed by Congress and ratified in 1865, ended slavery. But there was an exception which still applies today. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, the 13th Amendment begins, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. Slavery in the United States is still legal for convicted criminals. Those who talk about it commonly say now that slavery is legal for prisoners, but the amendment doesn't limit it only to the imprisoned. It's for people convicted of crimes, which I suppose means our government has exercised some rare limitations by keeping it within the incarceration system. And then there's enslavement in other parts of the world. I found the Walk Free Global Slavery Index online, which reports that an estimated 50 million people were living in modern slavery on any given day in 2021. This is nearly 1 in every 150 people in the world. Modern slavery is hidden in plain sight and is deeply intertwined with life in every corner of the world. The United States, that website reports, imports $170 billion in products annually that are at risk of modern slavery. The top 5 categories: electronics, primarily from China and Malaysia; garments from China, Vietnam, Bangladesh, India, Malaysia, Brazil, and Argentina. I'm putting these countries in order of how much money goes to the countries. Textiles from China, timber from Brazil, Russia, and Peru, and fish from China, Thailand, Indonesia, Taiwan, and Ghana. The Walk Free Global Slavery Index has 3 recommendations for the U.S. Immediately end forced labor of citizens by amending state laws that allow compulsory prison labor as punishment. Increase the legal age of marriage for males and females to 18 years. and ensure support services are available for all victims of modern slavery, regardless of gender, age, nationality, or sexuality. Abolition is still needed. Toledo has had a reputation as a major crossroads for sex trafficking. That's a type of slavery. It's here in our home. Forced servitude, slavery, is still existent in our world and in our own city. How might we address it? How can we bring our principle of the inherent worth and dignity of every person to the issue of abolition and make the issue more prominent in our social justice advocacy and work? And how might we support those who have been victimized by slavery, forced labor, oppressed living, human trafficking, and other ways? What to do after the rescue for support and quality of life is an important question. At the Unitarian Universalist Association General Assembly this past June, delegates passed a 3-year congregational study action issue for us to consider now through 2028, calling for Unitarian Universalists to consider abolition, transformation, and faith formation. The issue proposal began, abolition is a holistic approach to systemic social change that includes but is not limited to the abolition of slavery, replacing systems and cultures of violence, coercion, and control with transformative justice and relational practices, and dismantling the prison industrial complex as we know it now. It requires the transformation of our society and the replacement of our current public theologies of retributive justice and violence. Bringing this study action issue to congregations was initiated by the Church of the Larger Fellowship, the UUA's distance congregation that serves people who don't have Unitarian Universalist locations near them, some because of geography, others because they're incarcerated. And it's also for people who want an online experience or have other reasons not to affiliate with a local congregation. The Church of the Larger Fellowship is called a congregation without walls. And the physical presence it has is in the Unitarian Universalist Association headquarters in Boston. The Church of the Larger Fellowship was founded in 1944 to reach out to Unitarian soldiers in World War II and has expanded its mission over the past now 82 years. The Church of the Larger Fellowship website, questformeaning.org, states that more than 900 incarcerated individuals are members. I think that number is from a few years ago, as when we were participating in the Season's Greetings Cards outreach here in November and December, it stated that its Worthy Now prison ministry now has nearly 2,000 members. The congregational study action issue for all Unitarian Universalists, initiated by the Church of the Larger Fellowship, is for us to examine abolition, transformation, and faith formation. Over the next 2 years, and then in the third year, better educated and informed, delegates to General Assembly can consider a statement of conscience developed by congregational study and input about abolition, transformation, and faith formation. As a study action issue, we have the responsibility better to know what we'll advocate, not just to share good words. As the Church of the Larger Fellowship put it in their proposal for the congregational study action issue, although their membership includes incarcerated people, I quote, "The job of abolition is not limited to the prison industrial complex. We believe that in order to fully embrace abolition, we need to restructure our society in ways that eliminate violence, discrimination, and the causes of these things." At the Church of the Larger Fellowship, we connect our theology of abolition with issues such as the genocide in Gaza, ICE detention, discriminatory housing, food deserts, climate justice, and other social justice issues. Among the topics the Congregational Study Action Issue suggests that Unitarian Universalists discuss are these questions focusing on theology. And there are more questions and topics than this, but let's start here. What is our theology of sin, of redemption, of repentance and repair? How does our theology centering love ask us to respond to a public theology that is based on punishment, revenge, violence, coercion, and dehumanization? How do we live our covenantal declaration that every person is inherently worthy and has the right to flourish with dignity, love, and compassion? What does universalism, the notion that we are all saved by being reconciled with a love greater than our sins, mean in the 21st century? How do we live this part of our faith heritage? What does it mean to proclaim a theology that no one, no matter what they have done or been accused of doing, is disposable? How do we teach children about Unitarian Universalist theological claims and work with them to embody them? Add to that, as I found in the Walk-Free Global Slavery Index, our consumption of materials that come from practices of enslavement in other countries. Is it enough to order products made in China, for example, because they're significantly less expensive? We've been warned about sweatshops over the years, such as for shoes and t-shirts made in Asia. I remember a time a few years ago when reports were made of Christmas tree lights made through Chinese prison labor. What a way to celebrate a holiday. And so much for electronics now, especially cell phones and other personal devices that seem to saturate the world, most seemingly dependent on Chinese manufacture. And how do we justify our use? We don't have great alternatives sometimes. So we might minimize our purchases by keeping our phones a year or two longer. We try to support international standards and the companies in business making commitments about the suppliers they use too. We don't always have great answers or easy solutions, but we can talk about it, examine our use of materials that are tied to enslavement. Even if we're using good goods, that's still a category that doesn't have good ones, right? And develop our own conscientious personal and societal actions. That's one reason why this multi-year study action issue for Unitarian Universalists, not why this is an issue for all of us and not a well-written statement that's publicized, then filed away. We need to keep it in our minds, bodies, actions. Abolition is still needed. You might know that Unitarians and Universalists have a history of working toward abolition in the time of United States practices of enslavement beyond the prison industrial complex, roughly 1619 to 1860, when this nation was part of the transatlantic slave trade. And then the continuing abuse in many ways of people of color, in concept freed, but requiring more constitutional action, especially the 14th and 15th Amendments, to counter failed Reconstruction after the Civil War. There are still slaves here. The United States puts incarcerated people to work at very low or no wages, a form of slavery that our Constitution still permits. We make use of many products produced around the world that come to us by way of forced labor and other enslavement. And don't forget, we still exploit people, even here in Toledo, who are held in forms of slavery, including human trafficking. Abolition is still needed. So be it, and blessed be.
Thank you, Reverend Tim. At this time, we will have our offering, and we will pass the baskets that are in the front row on each side. Those of you on YouTube can donate electronically or by mail. Just a gentle reminder that we raise all the money that runs our congregation ourselves. None of it comes from the outside. So thank you for being generous and for helping Unitarian Universalism to thrive in Toledo. For more congregational singing, let's sing number 402, From You I Receive.
From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
It's the coming soon part of our gathering where we tell you what's scheduled for next Sunday, we give some announcements, And we also let you know what's up for right after we leave the sanctuary. Next Sunday, join us for Spiritual Forum in Fellowship Hall at 9:45 a.m. when Toledo Unitarian Dr. Julia Kalbus will speak about medicine.
For the 11 a.m. gathering next Sunday, our commissioned lay minister, David Strickler, will be the leader, and the service will be on universalism.
This afternoon and again in 10 days, our church walking group will be in motion. Today they'll be walking from 2:15 to 4 or so at historic Woodlawn Cemetery. On Wednesday the 21st at 4 p.m., you can walk with them in Secor Metro Park.
And the film club is back after a month off. At 1 o'clock on this coming Saturday, the film club will have a potluck and a screening of the film Wind River, a thriller and contemporary Western about the disappearance of young women from Native American reservations. Graham Greene and Elizabeth Olsen are in starring roles.
Something special is coming up here on Saturday, January 24th. From 4 to 7, our Snowball, a dance with tunes supplied by a DJ. Suggested dress is semi-formal. There's a $5 admission fee, which includes food and most drinks. Tickets for beer and wine will be available for an extra charge. And there's also a need for volunteers, including, I understand still, someone to put together a raffle basket. For more information or to volunteer, see Amelia Bickerstaff. And before we get to the final coming soon entry, Phil Park Thomas has asked to say a couple of words. You know that Phil has been away for quite a while because of some health challenges, and he is here present in person, in body and spirit today.
It is indeed good to be back. I'm not going to give the details about how I threw myself at the floor and the floor was not polite enough to get out of the way. What I do want to say is that it's very easy to look at a church and see its faults and where its imperfections. But I want to say one thing. Thank you for your compassion. Those of you who've helped with transportation over the last several months, thank you. Those who have helped with food for my family and myself, thank you. Those of you who have sent cards and letters, thank you. Those who visited while I was in the hospital and in the nursing home, thank you. There is a well of compassion here, and that is one of this congregation's strengths. Don't lose sight of that. Good people, thank you very much.
Thank you, Phil. Wise words. And the final coming soon entry is for me to invite you to join us in Fellowship Hall after today's service for coffee, conversation, and social time, and a chance to see the beautiful new paint job.
And let's have one more observance of spiritual practice. We have gone beyond ourselves with pastoral time and turned within for meditation, contemplation, and prayer. And now, recognizing the Buddhist thread in our congregation, we will share a time of metta, having for and sending to all beings love, kindness, and compassion. We also have pagans among us, so as a congregation in community, we will follow that with all of us saying the Wiccan Rede. Let's recite those together. May I, May we and may all beings be well, be happy, be peaceful, be safe, awaken to the light of our true nature, and be free. And ye harm none, do what ye will. And now please join me in saying the words on the screen while Stacia extinguishes the chalice. We send the flame from our Unitarian Universalist chalice with the love on which we center everything to fire up the world and spread equity, generosity, interdependence, justice, pluralism, and transformation. May your thoughts be wise, your lips speak truth, your heart know love, and your hands do good works all the days of your life. Merry meet, merry part, and blessed be.